Hello and welcome back to this YouTube video. I'm Geri and this is my colleague Taryn. We are actually in London for the day. We want to see what's new in interiors and what is launching for autumn winter 2024, and so we're going to take you along with us. Taryn, what are you most looking forward to today?
It's great. My name's Taryn and I'm really looking forward to a fun day out with my colleagues. It's going to be good to meet a lot of our suppliers in person, dealing with them over the phone and via email constantly. You create a relationship, but I think it's just an extra step forward when you meet them in person. So yeah, looking forward to meeting some of our suppliers.
I think that's a great point. I always love meeting the suppliers. I feel like you almost know them so well through email.
You do, but never put a face to it.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll take you along with us and I hope you enjoy. On the Fremantle stand, and I just saw a wallpaper we've just ordered for a client. It's in their formal dining room and we've done this beautiful pattern, and the pattern is actually on silk. So we did it on silk, and the silk color we chose is called agate, and it's the color over there if you want to go have a look. It's beautiful. It's this color. So what we did is we actually have paneling in the room, so we're going to put it into panels, and it has a really high ceiling as well. It's about 3.5 meters. So the wallpaper is really going to finish the room beautifully. And if you want to just have a look at the detail in some of their wallpaper, this is all hand embroidered and it's just incredible. It really comes to life, so I'm so excited about that. And when we have that project finished with this wallpaper, we'll make sure we show you on a YouTube video as well. We're here at Decorex in London and we've had the best morning looking around at everything. We've bumped into a lot of other designers we know, so it's great to catch up with everyone, but also to meet some of our trade suppliers. So some of the themes that I'm seeing cropping up in interiors is dark wood is definitely really popular. I'm seeing that a lot on different stands here. So I'm really excited about getting some darker wood into some of my upcoming projects. Also, organic materials and organic shapes are huge again in interiors for autumn winter 2024. I saw one handle that was amazing. they molded the bronze handle out of a lemon. So it had all of this dimpling on it, and it just made for a really unusual shape. So I'm seeing a lot more waves, curves, and organic natured looking things, which is a really nice antidote to too much clean lines. So I'm loving that. The other thing I've seen a lot of is a lot of pattern, a lot of color, and it's really nice to actually see a lot of pattern and color coming through. I've noticed when I go on to some of the stands with more color and more texture and pattern, they actually cheer me up more to be on a stand like that. So I'm really excited about bringing in a lot more color into my interiors. And you can do it so easily, even just through smaller parts like an armchair, some cushions. It doesn't have to be all really colorful. So the other thing I was really excited to see was the wallpaper, which we're showing you about in the YouTube video, because it's a real specialist wallpaper. And I think that's why I love coming to shows like this, because when you get to chat to the trade suppliers, they can really give you much more of an in-depth knowledge about what you can actually expect from the product, or you'll always learn something new. So I love meeting the suppliers because I learn something new every time. I found these amazing mirrors for a project I'm doing, and the difference in some of the different glasses you can get with the mirrors was fascinating to me. So anytime I come on a trip like this, I always learn a lot. So we are going to have a quick lunch now, and then we're going to whip around the rest of the show as quickly as we can, because we have to fly back out this evening, early in the evening. So it's a very quick trip for us, but I've really enjoyed it so far.
We're now on our way back after the show, and we are in our car heading back for our fight. It was a really quick trip, but I wanted to go through some of the highlights of things I really enjoyed today at the show. One of them is, as designers, we're always looking for unusual pieces with our projects, and I saw this lovely ottoman, and it had a bamboo leg detail, and it's those little details that can really elevate the whole look. So I get really excited when I see pieces like that, because I can use them in a scheme and make something that might have otherwise been just a plain and simple ottoman slightly elevated. So I'm really excited to use that one. In a lot of houses, sometimes it needs a blind that isn't a Roman blind. And I'm not a huge fan of roller blinds, even though sometimes you have to use them. But this natural
roller blind supplier we found was really nice because it brings in texture. So if it's a really minimal type interior and you want the roller blinds to basically be a bit of a design feature, those ones were great because they're like little very thin pieces of timber and they just bring so much texture and warmth. So I absolutely love those. Another thing I loved at the show, and I mentioned it already, was just to see so much colour coming through and some really fun and interesting shapes. So some of the fabrics that I saw with like the squiggly lines, I thought that was a really fun element. And while you don't have to have it on maybe a sofa if you're unsure of something so colourful and patterned, I think it's really nice to bring them in small accent pieces, like even throw cushions, lampshades, or even, one chair on its own, just to bring that splash of colour. And I think something I'm going to try and bring forward into more projects is that little element of fun and more colour. Another thing we're always looking for is nice kind of feature lighting, statement lighting, and we found some really nice pieces here. One of the simple things I like to use in a room, if it's otherwise lacking in texture or warmth, a really simple way of making it feel cozier and more homely is by using a textured pendant light. And some of the ones I saw here had a lovely linen kind of fabric covering, and it almost makes the light emitting from it really warm. So I loved those. And there was another one as well that had a whole cluster of lights together. So it was like an opaque glass and it had kind of a brass a center part that was holding all the bulbs, and I just thought that was such a nice statement piece. The other really interesting part about going to a show like Decorex is you're meeting other designers and you're seeing all of these new things they're coming up with. One of the interesting ones I saw was these amazing almost cloches that had like a mottled effect on the glass, and this lady that was supplying these lights found them at an antiques fair, and basically they were meant to sit over melons, which are really large, and let them grow in a greenhouse. So she saw them somewhere in France and she brought them home with her, so she had a seatbelt wrapped around one of the really large ones and she really wanted to bring it back and try and replicate it. And they were really unusual, so I love seeing something like that coming through because it's a standalone piece. And even in a kitchen, if everything else is quite streamlined and simple, seeing something like that can really be the main focal point of the whole space. So I absolutely love those. The other thing about those was they had a really good chain, and it's those little details that will really elevate how luxurious the light feels in the space. So while the glass was really, really simple, because the chain was really weighty and good chain links in brass, it just really set it off beautifully. Another item I'm always on the lookout for is unusual details in something that's in the interior architecture of the house. So at the moment we're decorating a house and it's a little bit older, it's not period, but we will be replacing some of the features like the stairs. So I was very happy to see really nice spindles that were unusual, all different type metals, different type finishes. And when you see something like that and you can bring it back and propose it to your client, it's exactly what we're looking for. So that's what makes these trips worthwhile, because we'll always find something that we've been trying to source. So we met the producers, we were able to look and feel the quality of the materials. So it's always better to actually touch and feel, see the quality, so that you know that your client is going to be happy with the end result. So I was really happy to see that one. What we also saw at the show was these, they're basically like wall panels and ceiling coving, and it was interesting because, as I said, all of these organic shapes and curves are really in fashion. So finding something like this, they actually had a flexible version of their molding. So let's say you've a curved wall or a curved island and you wanted to do really nice detailed paneling on it, this product is perfect because it can bend and it's flexible. So that was a really interesting one to see. I have had joiners steaming wood to try and bend it around wall paneling. So finding a solution that is practical and it serves its purpose is great. One of my favorite stands there was quite moody actually and had a lot of color. It was by the paint brand Benjamin Moore, which, their collection is amazing. They have like 3,500 colors, so it's really easy to find a good paint choice with that brand. But their stand was beautiful. They had an arched almost bar, and they had inlaid leather detail on the shelf, and also they had a double bull nose on their worktop, and then this beautiful herringbone in like a rustic terracotta. And they just had so many materials in the stand. Even on the curtains there was almost like a hessian type fabric, but they whipped the edge of the fabric with like a pink, I'm trying to remember now, I think it was pink. And just all of those details are lovely for us as designers to see, because they're the details we're always trying to add into our projects to make them more special. So it was lovely to see how many elements and details were in that stand, and it did feel like such an interesting space to be in, and you'd want to linger there because the colors were so rich and there was just so much going on. Even on the ceiling they had a beautiful wallpaper and panels. So yeah, that was definitely one of my favorites for sure. So now we are wrapping up the day. We are waiting in the airport for our flight home. It was a really quick trip, which suits us with the kids at home. But I really enjoyed it. Taryn, what was your highlight today?
Oh, I had a great day. Just it's so wonderful to see all the different brands, feeling textures, seeing all the different finishes. And it was great to meet a new supplier, Lights and Lamps, a really affordable, lush looking product, and that looks really expensive. So I really love that brand, and they're UK based, so easy accessible for us.
I love that brand too, actually. I was really surprised by the quality and the price point. It was amazing. I think my highlight today was really seeing some of the wallpapers in reality. Sometimes when you look at them digitally, I know we can get samples, but when you can really look and feel them, and I found the most amazing pool tables that come as bespoke pieces. So we're doing a bar at the moment for a client, and we have a limestone spiral staircase, and we need to get a shuffleboard table down there. So talking to this supplier, we've figured out how to do it. We have size constraints, and I found the perfect pool table as well for another client's games room. So I was able to send that on to them, and they're completely bespoke, so it means we can customize it to suit the interior of the room we're looking at. So normally not my highlights, pool tables, but when you find a product that suits the project, it's always great. So yeah, we're heading home now, and I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video.
Thanks very much for having me.
Thank you. Thanks, Fern, for coming. If you want, I have my interior design course for beginners. I'll link it below, and we'll link some info from today's trip as well. Thanks a lot. Bye.